Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.
This is AHMED for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. A dramatic night of boxing, a lot of talking points last night. Obviously, a positive one in Teofimo Lopez's performance. We'll come on to that in a second, Matt. But let's start with the show in Peterborough. Only one place to start, really, and that's unfortunately scorecards for the main event, and especially Terry O'Connor's. It's hard to explain what's happened there, really, isn't it, Matt?
I mean, I thought it was a clear win for Vasquez. Now, the rounds weren't. It wasn't like he was beating him up or anything like that. It was a close fight. It was in that sense, like every round was competitive. There wasn't a lot in it. Like it wasn't like Vasquez was beating Ritson up or anything. But in my opinion, he was outboxing him. Clearly was doing way more. I thought Ritson was taking a lot of them on the gloves, but also a lot of them were getting through, and he was probably landing the harder shots, but there was so few and far between. I didn't think he was doing enough to win the rounds. You know, it's one thing coming forward, but it has to be effective aggression. I actually thought that Vasquez, even though he was the one backing off and boxing, he didn't feel like he was really being forced backwards. He was electing to box off the back foot. You know, there's a difference in that. He was dictating the terms. He was controlling the pace. He never looked under real pressure, under real threat. He seemed comfortable enough in there. And I remember on the night thinking, like, when is Ritson's corner going to show a bit more urgency? But, you know, I mean, this is the funny thing. I mean, they obviously felt they were ahead, and yet, even though I didn't think they were, they got the decision. So, you know, what do you say to that? Look, but boxing is subjective to scoring in a close round where one guy's throwing a lot, not landing loads cleanly, but he's throwing some on, and then the other guy's isn't throwing a lot but lands 3 clean jabs. Like, what way do you go there? You know, it's an opinion, really. I suppose that's why you see, you know, very different scorecards. But, you know, usually, if the overwhelming majority of people see it strongly one way, you know, that you know, the masses speak, don't they, type thing. So, I mean, I thought it was a bad decision. I do. Like I say, I had it very clear for Vasquez. I think I had it 10 rounds to 2, 118, 110. I could definitely concede that it was closer than that. If someone said that, like the 115, 113, I didn't see it that. I think, but to have it 115, 113 to Vasquez, I think you've given Ritson absolutely everything that you could have given him. Do you know what I mean? So even at that, I don't see how you can get it any closer than that. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's like giving him everything that you could give him that was close at all. That's not giving Vasquez any rub of the green, and you've still got Vasquez winning 115, 113, in my opinion. So those other scorecards, flabbergasting. I don't understand them at all. I was shocked.
It's a strange one, really, because we have so many contentious decisions. For example, the John Hedges fight, where you and Adam both felt Jan Arden won the fight. But there was a few people on Twitter who said, yeah, I can see a draw. Some even had John winning. Obviously, I think the majority had Jan winning the fight. But in this one, it was literally the two judges that gave Ritson the fight, and also Pitt's corner. Everyone else, including Eddie, including the commentators and you and Adam, the fans on Twitter, I've not seen one person say Ritson won that fight.
No, shocking. I just, to the extent I remember thinking, like, does Ritson think he's winning this fight? Does his corner think they're winning the fight? Why isn't there more urgency? I think we said that in the commentary at some point. Like, when's his corner gonna, like, say, you know, you need a knockout here? Obviously, that's not how they were seeing it. I actually made this point. I said, unless Ritson feels because he's not being hurt, do you know what I mean? Just because He may feel these shots aren't hurting me. I'm in control. I've landed a good couple of stiff jabs there. Right, they might not be hurting you, but they're still scoring. You know, you're still being outboxed, you're still being outpointed, you're being outlanded. You know, at what? Because there's no exact rule to this. At what point do 3 hard jabs rule out 15 scoring punches? Do you know what I mean? Like, how hard were the jabs? You know, like it's like it wasn't. You know, Vasquez, like I say, wasn't dominating him, but to me, he seemed in control. He was throwing so much more. And while I'll accept that, yes, Richard did have a good defense and did block a lot of them on the glove. Also, loads got through. Way more than what he landed. You know, Ritson missed with a lot himself because of the movement of Vasquez. And yeah, we landed a couple of nice, stiff, clean jabs, that sort of thing. But I just thought it was far too few and far between. It was, I thought he got, you know, fairly comprehensively outworked. I didn't think it was, I thought it was quite clear. Do you know what I mean? I thought it was wide as well. So I was shocked. I was really shocked with the scorecards.
Matt, do you think because we're behind closed doors and the fact that the corners are aware, the judges can hear them very clearly, the commentators can hear them very clearly, everyone watching at home can hear them very clearly. Do you think that's playing a psychological factor where Ritson's corner know the judges are listening and don't want to get panicked to make out they're losing the fight?
Yeah, I'd say so, because I'd be thinking that if I was a trainer, I'd be going, listen, you're boxing while you're ahead here. Then I'd whisper in his ear, get your fucking finger out. You know what I mean? Or we'd have a code or something. You know, I'd be like, I definitely wouldn't be clearly saying out loud, listen, you're behind, you need a knockout, because then the judge, I would be doing that. I'd definitely be conscious of it. So I'd be, I'd be certainly trying to make them think I think we're winning, but we'd have to have a bit of a code thing or whatever. We'd speak beforehand to say, listen, you need to get your finger out here. You're behind. But I wouldn't be saying that for the judges there.
Matt, of course, not only was the scorecards a talking point from last night, well, the main talking point from that card, it was the fact that Terry O'Connor seems to be on his phone during the fight. And this is going to resonate more with you because obviously you're an ex-fighter. And Miguel and Lewis were putting their lives and health on the line last night. And you've got an official there who has to concentrate for a maximum of 36 minutes on the phone there, seemingly, from that picture. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's outrageous, isn't it? But like, I don't even think that having your phone switched off at ringside is enough, because it's still there, it affects, I don't know. We don't know what's going on in people's lives, say something's happened in his life personal, or maybe there's an argument with his missus or whatever. That's on your mind, isn't it? And if the phone's there, and you're expecting a text back or something, it's a temptation, isn't it? It can just, even if you're not actively not watching the fight, you're looking down. It's just taking your concentration away. I think that phone should be maybe, I don't know, handed into Robert Smith or something, kept safe, or left in your car, or maybe put in a locker. I don't know, but I think that having the phones ringside is a no-no, because then you're trusting people not to look at them. But like I say, if you just take them away, then you're taking out the equation, aren't you? It's not even a possibility, because look, we all do it. It's like my phones are banned driving. There's a reason, because you're driving a car, a fucking text comes, you look, bang, there's a crash. It does take your attention away from things. Like I say, even if you're texting someone then in between fights, and then you switch it off or whatever, and then you're watching the fight, or maybe you put it on silent. You know what I mean? You don't know. We don't know. He's had his phone with him at ringside. What's he got his phone? I just think he shouldn't have had it there. I think, especially then when he pulls out a decision like that, which I think it's fair to say, it's unanimously, universally accepted. It was an outrageous card. Like I say, sometimes there are close fights, and if you go the one way with every round, if you prefer the way one guy's fighting as opposed to the one in a close fight, you can get two very different scorecards. But I don't think this fight was one of those type of fights. I thought that was a really bad card, a really bad one.
Of course, none of this is Lewis's fault. Obviously, the performance wasn't up to scratch, but it's not his fault.
No, not at all. Absolutely nothing to. No, listen, Lewis Ritson went in there and gave his best give the best of himself, and he boxed to instructions. And like he said, he wasn't hearing urgency from the corner. Like I said, he wasn't getting beaten up by Vasquez. I don't think the shots were hurting him. He was taking some on the gloves. So in his mind and his corners, maybe he felt he was okay in the fight, but I don't know. I mean, I still think he was just getting outboxed, outworked. I don't think he was being hurt or anything. But there's definitely no criticism towards Ritson here at all. This is just on the judges.
Going on your timeline and stuff, I'm sure you've seen it as well. It seems fans have just had enough now, and it's getting to the point they might be put off from the sport, Matt, which is a dangerous thing.
Yeah, but look, you got to be careful not to overreact here as well. People jump on bandwagons and things. Boxing, you got two people in there, and it's, unless someone knocks the other one out, if it's like they're really evenly matched, only 50-50 fights, chances are they are going to be. And if they both perform well, it's a close fight. Some of these rounds are nearly impossible to separate because they're so evenly matched. And, it's coming down to a judgment call at the end of the day. And it's mad because sometimes I'll watch someone boxing, it's a close fight, and I'll prefer the cleaner work, the harder shots. Another fight, I'll prefer, it'll be, I could say that I prefer that generally, but then, I don't know, sometimes someone might be landing better shots, but he's just getting too much outworked. A bit like last night. Ritson probably did land the harder, cleaner shots, but there weren't enough of them, So it's like, I'm not counting there with a clicker, you know what I mean? But this is at the end of the round. It's how I saw the round. What did I think at the end of it? I'm trying to think a minute in, 2 minutes in, 3 minutes, and I'm thinking, at the end of the round, had the battle. Who do I felt won the fight, won that round? Who would I rather have been? These are the sort of things, and I think what's wrong in boxing is when there's a close fight, and we had loads of those in the fight camp. Natasha Jonas, Terry Harper was a close fight. Katie Taylor, Bassoon was a close fight. And actually, that fight, Bassoon Taylor, I had it a draw on the night. But when I watched it back, I thought I got it wrong. I thought Taylor definitely won 6 of the 10 rounds, maybe 7, but definitely 6. She landed the cleaner, better work. Definitely. But, on the night of the fight, Bassoon's aggression, everything, and from where we were, I'm watching on the monitor, I'm watching it live. I had it a draw, but, even the Jonas Harper one, I had Jonas winning. Some people had it a draw. Now, if you had a fight, if there's a fight 96-94, and say that's 10 people, and 5 people had it 96-94, and the other 5 had it 95-95 a draw, that's not a robbery. Do you understand?
Yeah,
that's a close fight.
But what about something like Cullen Shelley? Again, there was a lot of outrage about that one, Matt.
Yeah, I thought Shelley was really unlucky. I thought he was really unlucky. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see the draw. Like I say, I had it 118-112 for Ritson. I could see 117-111. I could see 116-112. Maybe I had an absolute push. I could see the 115-113. I couldn't get any closer than that. And that's giving him everything. Do you know what I mean? So, like you say, there is a judgment call. And I think it's a bit like the boy who cries wolf. And I think when you get these close fights and people are screaming robbery, no, it's not a robbery. It's a close fight. That could have gone, all right, you've seen it that way. But surely you can see if you've seen it 6-4 in a very hard-fought close fight where every round was competitive, that 5-5 isn't out of the question. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Too many people screaming robbery in these close fights. That what happens then is when we do get a robbery, it dilutes it, or people, you say, people are getting sick of it. But I'm sick of these ones because I classed last night as a robbery. But there were lots of fights during the fight camp which people were screaming robbery, and they weren't robberies. They were close fights.
Let's quickly turn our attention to Las Vegas last night before we go. Surprised that Lopez got a decision victory. People picking him, of course, were picking him to stop Lomachenko. But yeah, he won, for most people, 8 to 9 rounds last night.
Yeah, I fell asleep. But when I left Peterborough, I ended up driving back to Birmingham, and I got back here in time. but it was still like a couple of hours to go. I was waiting for a bit, and the eyes started to nod, and I went to bed anyway. I fell asleep, but yeah, man, woke up to that news. It's not shocked, surprised, but not shocked. Lopez is a good fighter. I tell you, I think I said it to you, wasn't I? You always spoke to him the week.
Might have been Raza on IFL if you spoke.
Oh, Raza, yeah, and I said, and I'm not trying to say I was picking Lomachenko. I wasn't picking Lopez because I wasn't picking Lopez. I thought Lomachenko would win, but I did say to him, and I said that, and I made that clear. I'm not picking Lopez to win. I said, but what I will say is, I don't think I've seen a fighter fighting Lomachenko with as much genuine belief that they're going to win as I can see in Lopez. Whether that counts for something or not, we'll see. Obviously, it did. It's half the battle, isn't it? Believing you're going to win. If you don't believe you're going to win, what fucking chance have you got? But that's easy. That sounds like a simple thing, doesn't it? But you're boxing someone like Lomachenko, who's such an amazing fighter, so clever. You do start to look at someone like that and think, how do I beat this guy? A bit like a prime Roy Jones. How do you beat a guy like that? How do you beat a guy that you can't hit? But listen, credit to Lopez. He targeted the body. His jab was good. He didn't overcomplicate it. Do you know what I mean? He stuck to his tactics, and the game plan was quite basic, but he executed it brilliantly. That was the thing.
Yeah, the composure, especially for a 23-year-old, and to become a disputed champ at 23 years old within 16 fights. I mean, America's got a superstar on its hand.
Oh yeah, look, you can see him now. I mean, unfortunately, we're in COVID restrictions still, but coming through the other side of that, you can see Lopez being the next Miguel Cotto and just packing out MSG every June on Puerto Rican Day Parade, and probably December. There'll be his 2 dates. That's what he used to have for Miguel Cotto. June, Puerto Rican Day Parade, and he'd always do a sort of end of year Christmas show at the Garden.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. All right, Matt. It's late now, Sunday night, so I'll let you finish your weekend however you want, but not.
I will say as well, though, that wasn't the only bad decision, in my opinion, in Peterborough. I thought that Thomas Patrick Ward was very lucky to get that draw.
People had a Somba in that one. Yeah,
I thought Somba was unlucky, man. And he looks, he was really small, but I think he used his smallness to his advantage. He stayed low and he was sharp. He was faster, and I think he got off the hook with that one, Ward.
A strange night, really, where all the kind of the Matchroom guys either lost or really should have lost, if we're being honest, Matt.
Yeah, Laws got stopped.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not really. He's more when they box in Newcastle, isn't he? But he was definitely the house fighter.
Yeah, happy for Kane though last night.
Yeah, definitely, man. You got to have people like that in boxing. They take your fight at short notice. Like people like him. Birmingham's had loads of them over the years. Peter Buckley, Christian Lake. These sort of guys that'll take a fight at 20, not even 24 hours notice. I know there's lots of fights. They've had the phone call. They've been doing something and they've just literally jumped in a car, got a pair of boots, gum shield, whatever, and gone down there and then gone 6 rounds with some young, hungry prospect. These guys have saved a lot of shows.
Well, he retired last week after the Fiaz loss.
Yeah. He's probably got his buzz back.
Matt, thank you very much for your time here on IFL, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon, all right? Take care.
All right, cheers. Good man.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.